So if you are a solo tutor or a small tuition business owner, then this is perhaps the greatest advantage that you have over those large tuition companies. If you don't know who I am, my name is Keefe Fonseka, founder of ThatBioTutor. And every time I make a video like this, I am losing money. But I do it because I want tutors like you to succeed. Okay, so I'll tell you a story. See if you can guess what this advantage is. When I was in JC studying for my A-levels, I needed econs tuition. At first, I was really bad at the subject, so I really needed the lessons. Now, the tuition was very good and I improved quite fast. So nearing the end of my A-level year, the lessons became less and less useful to me because I was getting better. But because the tutor allowed me to ask him questions directly, and he will always reply really fast, I still stayed even though I didn't need the lessons that much. In fact, 80% of the reason why I stayed at that tuition was because of how fast he replied my questions. So to me as a student, that was so useful and it was worth paying the full price just for him answering my questions. Okay, so you probably guessed it by now, which is replying to students really fast. So I'll give you another real example. When I was in JC, I also took up chemistry tuition and the teacher honestly wasn't that good. But I stayed because I could keep asking her questions and I learned super fast from doing that. So I hope you can see how important this is to a student, and this is actually a huge pillar of the service that you are providing. Even though you don't publicize this as your main thing, it is still so essential and so helpful. But if you are a large tuition center, right, then this is much harder to do and to maintain the good quality. But for you, you are a solo tutor or you have a small tuition business, you know your students so much more intimately. You know their strengths and weaknesses. You know whether this student needs particularly more explanation or is this student pretty strong and you don't need to explain that deep. So you have to realize you are in this unique position to give fast and personalized replies. Nowhere else in the world can they get this kind of replies other than from a small tuition business or tuition teacher like you. So this is your advantage. Please use it. Your students will love you and they will spread the word of mouth because of the amazing service that they're getting. So now I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to implement this effectively, reduce your time spent on it, and still give your students an amazing feeling. Tip number 7 is to make yourself very easy to reach. So give them your number. If you're not already doing this, give it to them. Then use the platform that they use the most. If they use WhatsApp most often, use WhatsApp. If it's Telegram, use Telegram. And be available every single day. That includes Saturdays, Sundays, public holidays, your birthday. It doesn't matter. You can either be busy or broke. I choose busy, but after all, it's your choice. And if you're wondering, wait, if I do this every single day, I will be very burnt out and tired of it. But from doing this personally over the past few years, it's actually very fulfilling seeing how much my students are being helped by my replies. And that keeps me going. Tip number 6 is to use a second phone. So if there are too many messages because you have too many students and it gets a bit annoying, you can always get 2 phones and then give them the second number. So I personally do this myself because I want to separate my work messages and my personal messages. Tip number 5 is encouragement. So celebrate all their small wins. Whenever a student sends me homework, I'll actually react with a fire emoji to show them that, hey, I appreciate you doing this. This is a sign that you are working hard and diligently. So I want to celebrate that. This is actually part of good coaching. And as tutors, we are coaching them just on studying. So make them feel special and make them feel good about themselves. They will also associate feeling good with being around you. And that means they stay in your tuition longer. Tip number 4 is to be very approachable. So have a smile on your face when you're answering them, even though it's over WhatsApp. You can use friendly emojis. You can use a friendly tone of voice as you're texting. Now, I know the feeling of having so many questions to answer to, and it can be very tiring, but say to yourself, I'm really grateful for these students, and I really want to help them before you reply. And it will come off when you are replying them. Your students will be able to tell and feel it from you, and they will appreciate you that much more. Tip number 3 is to batch up your replies. So if you reactively pick up your phone to reply every single time, it's going to be very time consuming and it kills productivity. So what I do is that I set 2 to 3 times of the day where I batch reply. Now these times are usually very flexible for me. So it's once in the morning, once at lunchtime, and once in the evening time. So I'll reply all those students who have messaged me. Tip number 2 is to do study coaching for them through these messages. Now this is something you probably already do. So if a student asks you, hey, how do I memorize this easier, or I'm struggling with procrastinating, or how do I, complete my homework faster, you likely already have tips and ways of how to solve these problems, which you will naturally reply if a student asks you. So what you can do is to actually let them know that, hey guys, you can actually ask me these kinds of questions, which is something that I recently did with my class as well. You are making your service more valuable, meaning they will want to stay longer and they are willing to pay more. And tip number 1, which is my most powerful tip when it comes to replying students, is my secret weapon: use voice messages. You see, voice messages are actually faster to make compared to typing out an answer. And they hear your tone of voice, it's more human and there's more connection. And the most important part, they perceive that you put more effort into it, even though in reality, you actually spend less time. So imagine you are one of my students. You know that I have 30 over students and I have almost 4K followers across platforms who might be asking me questions over there also. So you're like, wow, okay, my tutor is very busy. Let me try and ask him a question. And then you get a voice message of 1 minute and 25 seconds explaining your specific question. So the student's like, wow, my tutor spent 1 minute 25 seconds on a question just for me. So the perceived effort goes up and they will appreciate you that much more for it. So those are the 7 tips, and I cannot stress how important it is to reply your students very fast, because this is really how you give them great customer service. This is such a huge advantage that solo tutors and small tuition businesses have over those large tuition centers. So please use it. So if you are a tutor and you want to make more money, then watch this next video here.